Hi, welcome to Trauma Informative, the healing journey. So today I'm going to talk about the healing journey. I am asked daily about how I've got to the point I've got to. A lot of people that have listened to my story and come across Project TOT want to break the cycle. So I'm going to go through the healing journey today. I'm going to talk about building a safe environment, understanding and processing trauma, reclaiming your power and identity, building your circle, and what life holds for you through the process. So let's start with what healing means. What does healing mean? Healing means to be able to accept and move forward. I've had people ask me, what was your healing like? How long does it take? How do you know when you've got to a point when you need to change or make changes? My honest answer to that is it's about you. It's based on you. What you're going through and what I'm going through could be two totally different things, but we feel the same. And there's always different mechanisms that work for different people. I'm an individual that's been through the system for so many years, and the services have been exhausted and nobody can fix me. There is no recovery process regarding abuse or challenging and traumatic events. Recovery is possible, 100%, regarding substance abuse, regarding being in a toxic environment. Recovery to me is coming out, recovering, bringing something back to the state it was in. When you've been through abuse and a systematic cycle over the years as a young child, it's a healing journey. Healing is accepting what you've gone through, and which leads me to building your safe environment. And the first part of healing is building that environment that feels safe for you and your children, or you and your loved ones. Whoever's there at the time, it's for you and them. It's creating an environment away from what's causing you to be fearful, what's causing you to lose sleep, what's distressing you. Building that environment is really important. And young people now in this day and age don't have that environment, and they should. A lot of young people don't. I didn't. 20 years later, it's only worse. And I'm thinking and I'm looking at all this funding and all these awards that are being given out to all these huge companies that are receiving all this recognition, but the problem seems to be deteriorating. In my eyes, that's corruption. Something's not right. Something's not falling into place. Something's not working. But yet, certain individuals and a lot of larger organizations are still being funded to make this change, But the change starts with yourself first. So this is what this is about, reaching out to people who you'll find they will help you, and there will be an organization out there, just like Project TOT. Project TOT cares about the children. We care about where their future lays. We care about what decisions they'll make, and a safe environment is paramount. It's paramount for them to be able to express yourself. For you to feel comfortable, to be able to speak your mind, you need to be able to feel safe. And that's what we strive and endeavor to do. So that's the first thing. Practicing other techniques if you're in a toxic environment is important to keep yourself grounded. For example, deep breathing. For example, taking yourself out of one room, going into another room, that will help. It may be that you're still in a situation, a domestic abuse relationship or an abusive environment, whether it's shouting, screaming, physical abuse, mental abuse, emotional abuse, sexual abuse, whatever environment you're in. And it may well be you can't just run, which is also a possibility. You can't just run and leave the house, but you try to move yourself even from one room to another. Take some deep breaths. Analyze the situation around you. And then you need to get help. you need to reach out. Please reach out. You deserve more. 100% you deserve more. And I know it's hard to trust, so you've got to find trusted people. Part of building a safe environment on the process of your healing journey is being able to trust people. It takes time. Hence, you need to build an exit plan. An exit plan is paramount in all situations when you are trying to leave an environment that's dangerous or depleting your energy and stripping your identity bit by bit daily. It's important. So give it time, and maybe it's the shopkeeper, maybe it's a postie, maybe it's even the milkman that comes through, maybe it's a neighbour. Somebody out there will help you. Even if it's Project TOT and you see this today and you need to reach out. If you're in Manchester, reach out to us. Reach out to us. We'll more than happily support you as best as we can. We'll more than happily support you as best as we can. Now, moving on to that. Now, once you've found somebody you've trusted, and it could take a period of months, weeks, to be able to find that one person and to build that exit plan. In order for you to be safe, to leave the perpetrator or to leave the toxic environment, whoever's there, is understanding and processing your trauma. This is what we're going to move on to now. So understanding and processing your trauma. It's not easy. I started personally in regards to being able to understand and process, take everything out of my head and put it down on paper. I started writing a journal. I wrote a diary. God, it's been years. It's been years. I started writing a diary years ago. I was in my teens. And from diary, it turned into a book. So I've written a book. That's how it started. And it helped me process. It helped me take out things. It's also a crucial way to record evidence. Being able to write down things, write down dates, write down times. Being involved in and around, if it's suitable at the time, trauma-informed workshops, or being around some services or service that can help you process the issues in hand. So it could be addiction. It could be the fact that you're still currently in a situation and you need support, and you could find trustworthy, charitable organisations in Manchester to be able to find and understand yourself. Because don't forget, when you're healing, you've lost your identity. So you're trying to find you again. That's not easy. I know it's not easy. But you can do it. 100% you can do it. It takes time. Be patient with yourself. 100%. You need to be patient. There is, again, a lot of people ask me, how long did it take you to get here? Like, I've been doing this for years and I still feel the same. You feel the same because you've not broken the cycle. You have to break the cycle in stages. Emotionally, mentally, physically. You have to diffuse from a situation, and then you're left with all the thoughts in your mind. So you have to tackle that first. You have to tackle that before you move on to any other stage of the healing process. I found a lot of solace in art. Now, art isn't just getting a pen and paper, some crayons, and sitting down. I am quite creative with content on TikTok, for example. I love music. I love delivering information in new, fresh ways for young people to connect with, to catch people's attention. Art comes in many forms. It's your art, you know. It's original. So be authentic. You know, think outside the box and just follow what you want to do. And that will give you a lot of peace and solace in order to process your emotions and understand what's happening to you. And before you know it, you know, at the end of a week, let's say, of doing something, one small thing, 1 day a week, that's 7 things you've done for yourself. And if you look back and reflect on the week, just have a look at your progress. Have a look at how much you've been able to filter out of your mind and put it down on paper for you to be able to understand what you're going through. That's really imperative. And everyone has a different way of doing that. There's no right or wrong answer. You know, one person writing a journal, it might not be for them, and it might be creating music and being creative with imagery and content, or drawing pictures or 3D portraits. Something that Now, processing and understanding trauma will stir up your emotions. It's going to open up a can of worms, in fact. I always like to refer it as a can of worms because it's like sometimes your mind subconsciously, you haven't processed, for example, let's say through my abuse, I'll give you my example, shouting or the smell of a food, okay? And I'm being creative or I'm expressing myself in order to understand my trauma, okay? In order to process. It's going to take me back to that time. It's going to, 100%, it's a fact. It will happen to you along this healing journey. It will happen. You're going to have intense feelings. It's going to stir up your past. But that's how you face up to those challenges and you can move forward. Because if you don't accept and acknowledge and allow your mind to be able to understand, you can't ever deal with it. So don't be afraid and don't think, oh my God, something's not right. This is why am I feeling like this? That's because your mind's processing. Imagine the abuse I've been through for years and years, and my mind hasn't had a break to process actually what's going on. My healing journey was intense. It included me screaming and shouting, crying so hard. I don't even cry now, like it's rare. But all the years I had the tears locked up, they were flooding. My aggression turned into a vulnerability that I never knew I had, because that was the vulnerability I had as a little girl. And it's emotional. It's really emotional. I had amazing support in place though. That's why I can only urge you to bring yourselves forward. And if you're in Manchester, please reach out, check out the website, reach out to us, and we will be able to support you on that journey, because we don't just leave you. When emotions are stirred up, I've found as well with organizations, when I've been let down by the system, they've sort of left me to my own devices and thought, it happens. And then they'll put a label on me, that anxiety, depression, all these things, rather than helping me identify the root cause issue for me to be able to move forward. I'm labeled and left to the side. I'm just another number in the system and a tick box, tick box for the age, the criteria, the colour of my skin, my gender, all that rubbish. I don't believe in all that. Everyone's equal. Everyone's human, I don't like that. It's not for me. I believe in empowering everybody. Every young person that comes to the door, we empower all of them. And that's my passion, and there's no better way to be able to process than having someone there you trust. And when you feel low, you have someone you can talk to and you can trust and say, actually, this is how I'm feeling. This is how this emotion's made me feel. So we're here for you. And that leads on to building your circle of trusted people. Because once you start processing and you can speak to people, you start to trust and build your circle. It's a whole new world out there now. From living in a world of toxic trauma, shouting, substance abuse, drugs that are offered to you, and it's become a norm. You are entered into a world that's totally different. And it feels weird to start with. I'm not going to lie to you, it feels weird. You feel like, do I belong here? You'll question yourself, but that's absolutely fine. It's okay. It's a part of healing. It's feelings and emotions that you've never been able to experience before. And really, when you're abused, do you ever have a choice? Ask yourself that. Are you ever given a choice? I wasn't. So even having the power to have choice, that's huge. That's huge. And then that will lead you on to being able to integrate into organizations where you can volunteer, you can mentor and support, and it turns into you being able to find out more about yourself, which then leads on to being able to reclaim your power and identity. There is nothing better than feeling great in your own skin, than looking in the mirror and saying, do you know what, I love myself. How many times have you done that this week? How many times have you looked in the mirror and said, do you know what, I love you. I think you're amazing. I think you are absolutely shit hot. How many times have you done that this week? If it's 0 or less than 5 times, do it more. Do it more. You owe yourself more. Set yourself small goals, no matter how big or small they are. And remember, they must be achievable. Have them achievable for yourself. And it doesn't matter, as I say, how big or small. Everything you achieve is progress. It's a step forward. You're not in competition with anybody. Nobody has lived your life. Nobody has lived your story. This is yours. This is your journey. This is your way of moving forward. Nobody else's. And when you reflect back to your childhood, I reflect back to my childhood, and I have certain memories that are really good, but my mind doesn't remember. All I remember is certain things. So for example, board games. I love board games. Gives me the nostalgia of when I was a kid. You know, I don't remember the ins and outs. I have certain memories. And one of the things with reconnecting with yourself is doing things that you once did and being open to experience them and learn. I started playing chess again, and somebody very close to me encouraged me, and they said, B, why don't you give it a try? Can you play? Can you play? Every day they ask me, can you play? and I, as much as I had a great memory, I didn't want to accept it. It was very emotional for me. But one day I sat down and I thought, you know what? I've got to give it a go. If I don't give it a go, what's the worst that can happen? I can't play chess. Within a month, I'd learned how to play chess again from having a total brain fog of not knowing where to move even the first pieces and how to get into check. Any of that. I've learned how to play chess again. And I feel good. Reconnect with something that you love to do. A hobby or an interest. It could be sport or something you're passionate about. It could be that you love music and you love producing music, or you love dancing. Make up your own dances. Do things that make you feel good. It's important. And that's how you challenge your negative beliefs that trauma planted there. That's how you're going to challenge one thing about yourself each time, and you think, why don't I like doing that anymore? Well, actually, go and do it again. Go and try it. The journey isn't easy, and expect there to be twists and turns. That's the final part of your healing journey, and the sort of epiphany where once you've developed your environment, once you've understood yourself and what's happened to you, you've reclaimed your identity at this point now. You have the few but worthy and amazing people around you that support you and you feel safe with. Life is not going to be as you imagine. It's not all a bed of roses. There's going to be ups and downs. I say, you know what? You're starting to live. You're no longer surviving. And when you've survived the majority of your life and you start to live, it can be daunting, but give yourself time. You are not failing. You just got stuck. You found your way. You took a pause, take a break, think about what needs to be done. It could be you have a list of things to do. Prioritize them. Prioritize it if you've got an addiction to drugs, or if you need to flee from an abuser. Prioritize that. Whether it's getting a house, getting rehoused, whether it's getting a job, being able to follow a career after fleeing from abuse, or being in the care system and you need to integrate. Prioritize things and take it one step at a time. You are not in competition with anybody. I ain't in competition with anybody. I don't care about anybody else's goals and ambitions other than those children that need this the most. I will be there. Project TOT will be there. Everybody that's supporting this movement will be there to support those young people, because they matter and they deserve that. They deserve that direction of life where it reduces their risk to harm, reduces them being end up in prison at a very young age. It will give them empowerment to be able to continue striving without the judgment and the fear. And it's important to celebrate your wins, okay? As I said, you're not in competition with anybody. This is your healing journey. This is for you. Nobody else but you. If you ain't strong, how are you going to move forward and help somebody else or your kids? Help yourself first, please. Help yourself first. So celebrate your wins, even slowly and quietly. Celebrate. That could be things like as simple as achieving set goals in the day, no matter how big or small they are. It could be setting a target to laugh more, setting a target to read a book that you've really loved for years and you've not had a chance to pick it up and read it. It could be something really subtle as being able to sleep better, getting to bed a little bit earlier, relaxing and winding down before you close your eyes. You know, a lot of people struggle with sleeping. I still struggle to sleep. So I put things in place to help maintain and better my sleeping pattern. But we move, we keep it moving, we try, and that's all you can do. That's a win for me. It might not be a win for anybody else, but it's a win for me. To be able to even close my eyes is a win for me. I used to be so scared of closing them. I have to keep them open in case somebody was coming to get me. The fear for my life, my family, that something was going to happen to me and I was going to get taken away and nobody would ever see me again. I've just learned to close my eyes now. Different techniques use, yeah? And that's a win for me. Feeling less afraid, being able to look after your health holistically, eating better. Have 1 piece of fruit a day if you're not eating 5. They say eat 5 a day. You should eat 5 fruits a day. That doesn't mean you have to eat them all 5 in a row altogether. Just start with 1. Doesn't matter what anybody else is doing. Yeah? Focus on what you're doing because this is about you. I keep saying this is about you. And that is a healing journey. To answer a final question, to wrap it up, people ask me, B, how did you do it? And I'll say it again. My journey is different to your journey. All I can do is help you on the way and make it a little bit better in regards to being able to relate with you and just to let you know you are not alone. People always say, it's okay to not be okay. They're just saying it. Do they mean it? No. 95% of people don't. They just say it because it's a trend. It's in, you know. Everybody else is doing it. So we'll say it so we get more views on something. So people will recognize us on being viral on a social media platform. All that rubbish. Let me tell you something. When you stop surviving and you start to live, that hits differently. And this is about you being able to heal, being able to accept your trauma and accept that you should love yourself just as much as anybody else should. And you are worthy. You matter. And there are people out there that do care about you. Healing is possible. Recovery is possible. It takes time. It took me many years to even accept that things had happened to me because it was such a norm and a way of life for me. You know, I have had a different life. Thank you for listening once again. I'll be back next week with another little bit of trauma informative for you. Have an amazing day. Don't forget to like, subscribe, it's free, and drop a comment.